Joining me today on Library Life to discuss his library program, Improving Your Outdoor Living Spaces, is David Berryhill of Archadeck, the backyard company. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Great. First of all, let's talk a little bit about the premise behind your library program and what you mean by outdoor living spaces.
Sure. The premise of the program was the process of identifying and designing outdoor living spaces for people. The spaces that people would use: patios, decks, screens, rooms, sunrooms, anything that's a structure or creating that space for whatever people want to do outside.
Now, what are some of the things that people should consider before they go into a project like this?
There's really a lot of issues to consider. Our first contact with customers it usually takes about 2 hours. So to go through all those right now would be a little long. But at a high level, we try to look at certain factors. Number one, spatial. What's going on with the house? What's going on in their backyard? Are there any issues related to the village, setbacks, so forth, that are going to dictate where they can create the spaces? Part of that too is where do they, what's their traffic patterns in their backyard? Do they have gardens they already work with or interact with? Do they have a shed for storage? So the first issue is spatial. Mm-hmm. Second issue we look at is functional, and it's probably the most important. Obviously, form should follow function. How are they going to use the space? What do they want to do outside? Do they like to dine? Do they plan to have a hot tub? Do they plan to have a pool down the road? What are the activities or functions that would create the space or spaces in the backyard? The third issue we look at is aesthetics, the look and feel. Usually that's what people spend the most time on and have the most fun with. You want to consider the home and how it's going to match the neighborhood, how it's going to look right to the neighborhood, and then their personal taste. From there, we get into kind of a subset of that as materials, and do you want low maintenance or are you okay with a little maintenance? Everybody would say, I want zero maintenance, but the question is, are they comfortable with at least some to fit into their budget? And that's the next question, is always, what is the budget of the design to understand how we can bring all these pieces together?
Certainly.
So spatial, functional, aesthetic, and then budget really are the four main factors we try to address and understand to determine a design process for our customers.